You may or may not have noticed that I do not recommend fast fashion, with the exception of one old video that I don't agree with anymore. Why is that? Here. Grab a drink with me, lads, because today I'm going to talk about why you should spend more but buy less. Now, I know most of us, if not all of us, do not want to hear that, but hear me out regardless, because if you use this one word to describe clothing, not only will it even change the way you style your clothes, but it'll change your view of clothing and perceptions of it in general, even if you're not into fashion or style. View clothing as an investment. But if we're going to philosophize about this, then that means we have to ask, why are we using this description? Well, investing means that you don't buy on impulse. Investing forces you to think, ponder, contemplate about your decisions. Investing forces you to buy with intention and purpose. This invites us to use the Aristotelian method, specifically the four causes, specifically telos, or the purpose, ending, final cause. We answer the questions of why. What message with that particular item of clothing am I visually showcasing? Why do I want this item? Because I like it. Why do I like it? Because it looks nice. Why does it look nice? Because the particular way that this item of clothing shapes me and drapes on me gives a certain aura of authority and elegance. Okay then, why do I want an aura of elegance and authority? You can keep asking why, until you get to your final answer, the purpose, final cause. Telos. It stops you from buying on impulse. Your style should never be based on impulse. Impulse leads to bad decisions that you regret later on. Investing forces you to put thought into it. Investments are made for the long run, but if something is made cheap, then it won't last for the long run. So this is why you buy quality items. Quality is meant to last. It's not weak, which means most of the time you're going to get your money's worth out of it. The cost per wear goes down exponentially when an item lasts 10, 20, 30 years, a lifetime, and more. Some people laugh at the idea of spending a bunch of money on something that will last beyond your lifetime, that you pass on to your kids or your grandkids, but that's nothing to scoff at. That's actually quite nice. It isn't entirely selfish. You're thinking about your future generations. And if it's gonna last more than a decade, then obviously you wouldn't want to go with something too trendy that'll look tacky in a few years. So that's why it'd be best to invest in more classic pieces that you can wear for years without the fear of having to look dated, and you'll look great. In turn, this will actually help you develop your own personal style instead of following what the current fashion industry dictates. You'll start to really see what you like and what you don't, what you gravitate towards, what you don't, and you'll start to put your own twist on things so that you don't look like a cookie-cutter replica of other well-dressed men. Being classic pieces that are made well and don't go out of style, they retain their value very well, like a good watch would. So if you plan on reselling anything, you can get a lot of money back on it. But more than likely, these things are going to be expensive. There is no getting around that. They're going to cost more than a penny. It isn't an investment for nothing after all. If you've looked at some of these classic quality pieces, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But really, you're seeing its true value. Until really the postmodern era, clothing actually spent a huge chunk of someone's personal annual income. So to put things in perspective, a shirt for a servant mind you, of King Henry VIII's court would cost anywhere the modern equivalent of $250 to $800 for someone working at $10 an hour. Yeah. Most guys I know would not even think of spending $800 on a shirt, let alone someone who makes $10 an hour. But granted, they only bought clothing a few times a year. Now, I'm not saying to spend that kind of money on a shirt, especially now because we have different payments and dues these days, but it does really put into perspective how humans have viewed and valued clothing throughout the ages, and it shows that we, in this era, are experiencing something quite radical. You're seeing its true value, and so then you start to care for it more, and you see it as an art piece that needs to be taken care of and not treated so thoughtlessly. You come to appreciate what you have and you take responsibility. It's the exact opposite with fast fashion, which harms us mostly psychologically, and I can talk all about that at another time. It fuels your temptations and impulsive animalistic passions. Quality tempers it, which is what we strive for as men: control over ourselves, our mind, our passions. It's also more ethical, whereas fast fashion really isn't. Fast fashion harms the environment a lot worse than a lot of people know, but even worse is the quality and the conditions of workers, which can be anywhere from controversial all the way to absolutely unacceptable. Quality items are the opposite of that: environmentally conscious and have ethical working conditions. We're very visual creatures, so if something looks expensive and nice, a lot of times we think it's made well, when it's not at all. You can't have your cake and eat it too. And if you want to look nice with high quality items that are luxurious, you have to pay what it's due. If you don't, somebody else does. And usually it's not good. So if you're really passionate about the environment, then this is a great place to start. And honestly, it'll do a lot more than just picking up a sign or writing on Twitter how you're some sort of a hero ever will. But aside from that, it isn't manufacturing. It's craftsmanship, something that's been almost entirely lost in the modern age. Craft is art. Techne, Greek for art, also means technology, craft. It's the same thing. Art in its original meaning didn't just mean merely a painting on a wall. It's a process, it's craft, it's using humans, not machines, to make things. And these reasons are why I love and I'm honored to work at Craftsman Clothing. And we share in the exact same philosophy or principles or whatever you want to call it. It's making quality pieces done the traditional way, the same way, with the same principles and philosophy that humans have been making clothing for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years, but done in a classic way that doesn't look dated, though, in the slightest. These pieces will look just as good now as they did back in the day and as they will in the future. And I love it, and I think that's amazing. So by looking at clothes with this one word, investment, we've trickled all the way down to this description that we've made. But there's no need to go all at once. Just start off with your basic essentials that you absolutely need throughout every day. Your pants, your shoes, and your jacket. And then from there, once you're comfortable with that and you find your style and you like it, if you'd like to go further, then you can add more like shirts and then little details and accessories. But start with the basics first. There's no need to rush at all. Be realistic about what you'll wear, how often, what your lifestyle is, what your lifestyle goals are, and then make your decisions based on those. Remember, you can always go to thrift stores and find really high quality items for very, very cheap, which I know are more common in the US. So if you're not American, comment down below and let me know if there's thrift stores or anything of that nature around you, because I've heard Europeans say that there aren't many around at all, at least where they live. And just remember, don't get a guilt trip or feel super bad if you end up giving in and buying something cheap, okay? It's just like junk food. We all give in once in a while, and the same goes with our clothes. Just don't make a habit out of it, and you're gonna feel a whole lot better.